let's talk about power of makeup. Or maybe the hardest makeup in the world. Let me tell you why. I've been a makeup artist for over 12 years, and for me and for my students, the hardest makeup is not what you might think. It's not asymmetry, not hooded eyes, not lifting techniques. If makeup artists are watching right now, you already know what I'm about to say. There is a certain type of people, no matter how stunning, clean, or technically perfect the makeup is, she only sees her imperfections, and her eyes aren't big enough, one corner of the lips feels asymmetrical, the under eye bag aren't covered enough, or maybe another type is afraid to experiment. First things first, love yourself. Second is skincare. Listen to your skin, feel what it needs. This winter feels very different to me, and one layer of my favorite moisturizer just isn't enough. I apply 2 layers. I just apply the first layer, let it absorb, and massage it in. If you touch your skin and it feels rough, almost like a sandpaper, that's a sign your skin needs more attention. You may need to focus more on nighttime skincare, or maybe add an enzyme powder, or even adjust your diet. And skin issues often show up in December because of stress and deadlines, and in January because of overeating, unhealthy food, and the climate. Next, concealer. I use one with the salmon undertone. It cancels out signs of lack of sleep and neutralizes blue and purple tones around the inner corners of the eyes. I choose a radiant formula so it doesn't emphasize texture, but instead hydrates, brightens, and creates an optical illusion of smooth skin thanks to light reflecting particles. I apply it with my fingers, warming up the product and stretching it into a very thin layer. Look, this is color theory and action. We neutralize the eye area with the orange, but that shade is absolutely wrong for blemishes on the cheek, chin, or forehead. It's way too orange, right? So that's fine, we will cover it with the foundation later. The most important part, wait until the concealer sets. This happens very quickly because we are using ultra-thin layers, and it's almost invisible on the skin. This is a key beauty tip. Thin layers, build only where needed, and always let concealer dry. The next beauty tip, foundation application. I take a light shade, my exact skin tone now, and I use a synthetic brush. I pick up foundation with a sponge and stamp 4 main points on the cheek. Then I distribute the leftovers onto clean skin without foundation. Flip the brush and start blending. The foundation is pigmented. Don't be afraid. Give it a time to absorb and work with the moisturizer underneath. And you see, there is no need to apply all foundation what we have on the back of your hand. What the sponge picked up is more than enough. At the very end, I smooth everything downward. This type of application is good to stick the facial hairs to the skin instead of lifting it, and prevents emphasizing dryness or texture. Beauty tip number 2, lip liner. Do your lips before your eye makeup. This helps you understand how intense the eye look really needs to be and when to stop. I'll show you how to make lips look fuller. I choose one of the most basic shades for sculpting the lips. Apply it naturally following your lip shape, then softly blend it out with a light pressure, either with the pencil itself or even with your finger. Lightly tap the same pencil onto the lips. Actually, we will come back to the lips a bit later. Beauty tip number 3. Dry powder contour or liquid foundation for the most natural finish. It melts into the base and gives you that gorgeous skin-like effect without visible powder particles. The key to avoiding patchiness is using very little product and apply it with a light pressing motions, not swiping or swirling. And I apply it to the cheekbone, keeping the lowest point at the line where your teeth meet. I also go into the temple if you have the same bone structure like I do, and connect it into the hairline. Then the jawline, connecting it back to the cheekbone. I add a bit to the sides of the nose and even a touch on the eyes for a soft definition. Tip number 4. Get to know your natural blush. Pinch your cheek lightly to know your face, and this is how your natural blush appears. How does it really look? Analyze it, and the most intense color shows up on the apple of the cheek, sometimes even a bit lower. But notice, the highest point of the cheek isn't the darkest red. See that? So we are going to use 2 blush shades. I applied darker blush with a muted tone exactly where it naturally belongs between the contour and the highest point of the cheek. And then I take a light baby pink, clean shade and apply it higher on the cheek. Actually, the difference between these shades is dramatic. The YSL Beauty blush is darker and muted, slightly gray, a bit dirty, but with a reddish brown base. The Armani blush is clean and bright, almost as if it's mixed with a white pigment, violet pink and more saturated. I also add the lighter shade to the forehead. For the most natural blend, I mix the blush with the leftover foundation on my hand. Then I tap a bit onto the outer corners of the eyes and the center of the lips to tie the entire look together. Tip number 5. Highlighter. Look at your face without makeup. See that natural glow? Turn your head toward the window and watch how the light reflects. It's not two sharp V-shaped lines. It's curved. Start simple. Draw one soft line along the highest point of the cheek. Then turn your face and follow it through the temple and into the forehead. The tip of the nose also catches the light naturally, but foundation tends to mute it, so let's bring that shine back. And I also add a touch between the eyebrows. I usually use the same highlighter on the eyelids to smooth out fine lines, dryness, and texture. The key here is a fine mill highlighter, never chunky, and this also adds light to the mobile lid, which is especially helpful if you have hooded eyes like I do and limited lid space. Beauty tip number 6. Lip gloss to open up the eyes. Yes, I've noticed something interesting. Lip gloss can actually make your eyes look more open. How? Actually, it's all about reflection. The shine on the lips reflects light, and the light reflects into the eyes as well. And they support each other visually, making everything feel more open and fresh. Tell me, what do you think? Is it real or just my imagination? I actually love this lip mask for winter. It smells like mango, gives me energy, and the shade has a slightly yellowish undertone. That's perfect for crazy and neutral beige lips. We'll talk about eye makeup, so we could honestly stop here and just use the same product we used on the face, just on the eyes, and building intensity slowly. Swipe it along the lower lash line, then move to the upper lid and hold the brush perpendicular and blend side to side. Pay attention to the brush shape. I use a flat one, but I still can blend because it's a fluffy brush. I don't have much lid space and I don't want the blending to go too high above the pupil. That's why I use that small and very thin but still blending brush. The key tip: don't blend only inside the eye shape. Blend outward toward the temple to make them bigger. And this is the same shade we used for contour. Soft, not dark, not scary. Now look at the inner corner. Everyone skips this, but this is how you make your eyes look bigger. See where the light naturally hits and where the shadow runs. From the brow down toward the side of the nose. That's part of reshaping the eye. Between those areas, apply a light beige matte or shimmer shade to the inner corner using a small pencil brush. I also apply an almost white matte shade to the mobile lid, right between the lash line and the crease, to open up the eyes. I go over the silver highlighter. Matte shadows alone can sink into the texture, but we've already smoothed that area with a fine milled highlighter. So everything blends beautifully. Now we add depth. I take a light brown matte, not dark, not even mid-tone. Actually, it depends on your skin tone. And I apply it in a soft V shape. First touch to the outer corner, connect it with the lash line, and then sweep it into the crease. Whatever is left on the brush, I diffuse around. I turn my face and look how far out I blend. Notice the space between the brow tail and the outer corner of the eye. If you need more depth along the side of the nose or brow bone, add it. Compare the two sides. Without makeup, the eye naturally drops downward. With makeup, we've lifted it and we removed unnecessary shadows underneath and redirected everything upward. Tip number 8. Lifting the brows. Brow lifting becomes more visible when we work with the shape. I fill in spare areas in the middle of the brow and slightly curve the tail upward. I make the tail a bit deeper in color just because it sits closer to the temple. The perimeter of the face is naturally darker. The center and the front of the brow belongs to the lighter central part of the face. The key detail: leave the tail just a little. Tip number 9. Curl your lashes. Curling lashes doesn't just curl them, it changes how shadows fall. When lashes are lifted, they stop casting the shadows over the white of the eye, making the eyes look more open. Always curl before mascara. I do this often and my lashes stay healthy and look good, don't worry about it. The last beauty tip: mascara. To keep that open eye effect, set the lashes with the mascara, but don't overload them. Too many layers can weigh the lashes down. Use a small wand for control, and apply from root to tip from underneath, then gently close the eye and brush from the top as well, making sure the lashes are evenly coated, including the tips. And that's it. The most satisfying moment of the video: let's draw the cleanest, straightest line between the makeup side and the bare side of the face. I'm using my favorite micellar water because it's gentle, perfect for sensitive skin and less aggressive. Just look at the final result. It's that good, like Photoshop or filter, but for real life. We can look like this, and we can also be completely without makeup. It's normal. That's the power of creating your version of makeup. You can stop at any stage, build it up fully, or take just a few tips from this video and try them out. By the way, you can lightly set the edge with a powder to lock everything in place. All products are listed in the description as always, and if this video was helpful, don't forget to like it, save it, and share it with someone who loves makeup as much as you do. Subscribe for more real-life makeup techniques, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!